I built an entirely new day trading strategy in just 30 days trading in a small account. And here's how I did it. So this video's title is how do you build a repeatable strategy from scratch? And I did this based off trading in a small account. Now, I already made a video on trading how to day trade a small account challenge as a beginner trader. And this video walked you through exactly the steps you need to take to trade in a small account using a certain brokerage and so on. So what did I do to make this strategy successful? Over the last 30 days, I traded one strategy that consistently produced profits, and I'm going to break down exactly how I did that and how you can do that as well. If you didn't already know, I stream live every single day on TikTok. All of these trades were specifically streamed during this period of time, so you get to see me trade this strategy live and maybe do it for yourself as well. But what is my strategy first off and foremost? And I would say my strategy is based off micro pullbacks. And what are micro pullbacks exactly? Is I'm watching on the 10-second chart and the level 2 and deciding whether or not this is a good trade or not. So later on in this video, I'll break down exactly a live trade where I made just over $30 as a base hit for a small account. And that's really good. If you consistently add up over your base hits for a long period of time, eventually you'll be able to rack up more and more profits, increase your share size, and continue building an account from there. I always say that confidence comes from evidence. And you need to build up these evidence before you start increasing your share size over a long period of time. So what was my accuracy during this period of time? It was actually 58%, which is typically lower than I like to average. I typically average anywhere between 65 to 70% in a hotter market. Now, what was the limiting factor between this period of time when I started the small account challenge? And the biggest thing was the limiting factor was there was a lack of opportunities in the market. And I think one of the reasons why there was a lack of opportunities in the market during this challenge from October 13th to November 13th was the fact that there was the government shutdown. We had lack of data come out. And so this created a lack of opportunity in the small cap sector, and there wasn't as many news headlines producing. But I was still able to capture a little bit of profit each and every day that made me consistently green repeatedly over and over again. So what was my statistics over this period of time? My average winners were bigger than my average losers. I had a higher accuracy percentage than 50%, which netted a total gain of $243 in just 30 days. My account balance at this time was $2,400. So that's a 10% return in just 30 days. And that's really good. That's exactly what you want to go for consistently building up a small account over a long period of time. Secondly, what is the criteria of stocks that I'm looking for? And primarily the criteria of stocks that I'm looking for is a stock that has a low float, under 20 million shares. We're looking for high volume, high action. And then we also want to see a price between roughly $2 and $20 a share. You can clearly see here where I did best. Between $5 and $10 was an entirely sweet spot for me to make the most amount of money trading. And I know that about my strategy. So what I'll do is I'll lean into those trades. I'll take more opportunities that are between $5 and $10 a share that meet the criteria with the low float, high volume. But what we're also looking for is news. And if all of those criterias can hit that mark, then I'm really looking forward to trading that stock. Our second performance indicator is actually the time of day. I do best around 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and I typically don't take any other trades after 9:30. Now, I do have a little bit of trades coming in at 9:30 from this indicator. Now, during this period of time, there was also not that many opportunities that I like to see after the open. I'm typically a trader that likes trading breaking news. So once a stock comes out with news at 7, 8, 9 top and bottoms of the hour, then I can typically get the most amount of scalps opportunity within those levels. I also trade best on stocks that are gapping up over 2%, maybe even over 10%, over 20%. This is kind of like a gap and go strategy where I'm trading in this range, and you can clearly see that I didn't do well on stocks that produce less than 2%. So that means when they gapped up in the morning, they ended up falling down even lower when the stock market ended up opening up. So these stocks I didn't trade too well, but the stocks that were opened as a gap of more than 2%, I crushed, and you can clearly see this by the metrics right here. And then also another key performance indicator during this period of time I would like to point out is the fact that Mondays and Tuesdays were really hot. Wednesdays I had a little bit of losers. Thursdays and Fridays it started cooling down pretty viciously. And I think one of the reasons why is typically companies will produce the worst amount of news during the end of the week. So after the weekend, it can kind of get brushed under the table, and traders don't really are affected. I guess their stock isn't affected by it as much. And so, what did my daily accuracy look like on a level? If we go to Trading View here and we pull it down, I can show you the exact calendar performance here that I traded. So if we go to the calendar and we pull up this time frame between October and November 13th, these were my daily accuracies. So you can clearly see I only had 5 red days total. But if we open this up, these red days were really small. So my average losing day was specifically way smaller than my average winning days. And that's really important when you're trading in a small account, is getting your losing days as small as possible. So you can clearly see, we have some nice trades Monday, Tuesday. It slows down coming into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Some nice trades Monday and Tuesday, and it slows down. So that this has been repeated week in and week out, and I even seen that during this week as well, where if we go to November timeframe, we have a 5-day in a row green streak. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday were okay, and then Thursday only a $3 winner, and then Friday I had no trades today. So it's just that period of time where I think sitting down Monday and Tuesday, we're getting the best news headlines, and then later in the week the companies start producing less headlines, and that's just typical sometimes during this period of time. But if we continue moving on here, what is my exact strategy? So what am I looking for? On a 1-minute chart, we can really break this down, and you can see my entries and exits through this here. Let me just zoom in so you guys can be able to see this a little bit better. Go to the right. So this is a stock that came out with breaking news, and it was gapping up. Right now, we're seeing this stock pop up, and you can clearly see that we have 2 green candles in a row. Typically, what I'll do is I'll wait for the first pullback to happen. I'll look to see if buyers increase as the stock is going down. So you can see how we have one massive green candle here with pretty high buying volume. It gaps down on a little bit less of a selling volume, and then I'm looking for that first candle and that scalp between that break of VWAP. So that's the setup that I was looking through here, and I'm going to show you on a 10-second time frame live how I broke this down trading. While also I got another micro dip scalp here in this level, and I made, I think, just over $30 as a base hit for this stock. And for a small account, this is exactly what you need to do if you want to trade live, is get these base hits over consistently and then build up that evidence so you can start to size up in your account. And I think that's very crucial. So if you want to see live trading archives on our Discord, I post up pretty much every single trade I take with level 2 data. So if you're interested in that, that's going to be linked in the description as well for you to see exactly where I get in and out of every single entry I take for trading. So let's cover this live trading archive of CMCT. Let's pull it up here. So this is a stock that's moving up, and this is the live trading archives. This is the view that you guys get to see while trading, I guess, while being a member of Drive the Stock Market. Now, this stock right now is, you can clearly see, pulling back. And if you look at the 10-second chart, we have a possibility of snapping through VWAP. So what I typically will do is I'll take an anticipation entry for the breakthrough VWAP, looking for the squeeze up higher. Now, I'm looking per trade just to make 10 to 20 cents. Now, if a stock jumps from, if I get it in at 9, it goes to 9.20, I'm looking to take my profit off. And those base hits over a long, consistent period of time is all you need to produce profit. And then once you have that cushion, you can look to size into, extend your plays longer, and then take some more profit off. So maybe once you have a cushion, you can take half off, look for the extension, another 10, 20 cents, take another half off, and then, and make those runners very inclusive. So specifically, I see that there's high volume selling in this area, but it's not breaking down. We're not selling off too hard. We have plenty of room on the daily chart. And then we also have breaking news. This one came out with announces sale of its lending division, which means that it's selling its lending division, making it increase its probably cash assets. So decent headline here. And obviously the market's responding to this very well. So what are we watching for? We're watching for this break of VWAP setup. So watch here. I'm going to press play and we're going to watch as this stock goes from an entry of around $9 and look for that extension through this level. So typically maybe I'll look for the breakthrough 920 and then dip 925, 930, 940, take some profit off going up to 950, looking for that extension higher. So this is the exact entry and exit I got on this stock. If we play it here, so I'm watching 9 on the bid. I see 924. I'll add for that extension. I see green on the tape here. I'm just going to play this one more time and pause it where I need to. So this pulls up to 924. I see green on the tape at 915 here. That's a good sign that people are buying the stock. And what I'm looking for is that breakthrough VWAP, and we're breaking through it. So watch as this snaps up higher. So it goes to up to immediately 950. And so what do? I immediately take my profit off the table, up 21 bucks on the stock already. As this goes higher, maybe you can look for that extension up to 970, 980, and that breakthrough 10. So it goes up to 980, 990, looking for that extension up through $10 a share. And this would have been a great trade to even hold longer on. But I specifically in a small account is once you get those base hits, you take your profit, pay yourself, and build that over a long period of time, and you'll consistently be profitable. So here's my other trade on this stock. What we're looking for is this dip setup here through VWAP, looking for that bounce up higher. I like to buy the continuation play. So I'm looking for a momentum trading strategy where the stock is moving higher. I buy into that extension, looking for price to go up. So maybe I'm looking for the breakthrough 1020 and then looking for that extension up through 1030. So that's the breakthrough 1020 here. Looking for that extension up to maybe 1030, 1040. So immediately it dips down here for a split second. My stop around this level would be maybe 1005, 1010, but immediately up to 1050, and I can take my profit off here as well. So this one I was scaling in, or I was scaling out of the position as well, looking for those breaks through those highs. It didn't break over 11 immediately, so I'm taking my profit on the way down and selling. So one more time here, what are we looking for? This micro dip pullback you can see on the 10-second chart. We're looking for that first candle to make a new high, looking for that extension up through 1020, and then we're looking for 1040, 1050, and maybe that squeeze through 11. So as we pop up here, I see 1020 there, right? So watch here, 1020 dips down to 95. I backed it up a little bit. 1020 there, I add for that extension. I see some selling. That's not great, but watch as these buyers come in at 10. There you go. There's your buying coming in, and I'm taking profit up at 1060 and then selling it all on the way down as it's not able to hold up this level, showing a little bit of a topping tail coming back down, but I'm already out of my position. So I made $35 trading with only 100 shares on this small account challenge. And I think this is a really good profitable strategy for you to use when you're day trading as well. I think getting in and getting out profitable is way better than holding and hoping and waiting for that extension to go up $1 a share when that's not always the case. So if you haven't already checked out the live stream, I stream live every single day over on TikTok at 7 a.m. And if you're interested in watching that, you can just follow Drive the Stock Market over on TikTok. And then I typically stream live in the live trading room, in this room right here, where we cover a lot of criteria after 8:30. But I appreciate you guys tuning in for this video. I know we are looking to size up this account pretty shortly, and with this strategy I think it can produce a lot of profit. So hopefully you found some interest. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section and I'll be happy to answer what you have. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.